Hello, everybody, and welcome to OpenExO Live. It is really good to be with you this evening for me, or for our guest, Jun, who is in LA. I guess it is closer to morning. And before we get Jun up here on screen, I did want to just share a message which came from Eunice. And he just said, Jun is an amazing human being. We met a few years ago within the Singularity University family. He is authentic and fun. We are currently working together on an EXO sprint with one of Jun's clients. It's an amazing opportunity to get to know each other more, and I truly enjoy working with Jun. And so with that, I want to welcome to the screen, or to the screen, Jun. How are you doing? It is still morning for you there
it's still morning, another 30 minutes. It's 11:30 in the morning here in California. Beautiful weather, I suppose.
Awesome. Wow. That is really
you didn't
great.
Tell me that you're showing that testimonial from a message from Eunice. I'm like, oh my God, makes me blush. He's an amazing person.
Absolutely. It's always great to actually connect with the community. And so many, like for me, it's sometimes so difficult because I don't know which community members know each other really well. But that one was an easy one for me because I know you two are working together right now. And so, Jun, for those people who don't know who you are, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, your background? And I know we can go back many years, but maybe not so many, and also how you came, into the OpenExO community as well.
Okay, sure. As you can hear, everybody probably hear and get my accent. This beautiful, sexy Japanese accent. I'm a Japanese, and if my Japanese accent is too sexy and you can hear what I'm saying, just stop me, right? Because of my accent, I just want to use the slide if I could. And Kevin, if you can just turn it up. Okay. Again, this is my name. But before I go introduce myself, sorry, Eunice, I don't have your slide. But the reason why I'm here is because of two gentlemen in a community. This is Fabrizio, the great guy. Another one, Gabriel. So I just want to give a shout out to those two, because I've never had listened into or watched this live stream, so it was all new. But they asked me to pitch in and talk about myself. And also, since we are talking about transforming the world, I just want to pay tribute to my friend Yuzo Toda. A lot of people in this community knows Kodak because what happened, how it failed. But people don't know enough about Fujifilm, which was a competitor head-to-head to Kodak. They are thriving now because of this guy, Yuzo Toda. He's my dear mentor, friend, and collaborator. Unfortunately, he passed at the end of last year. But he transformed Fujifilm from analog film company to life science company in a matter of 6 years. And Fujifilm has 75,000 people, and they only let go 3,000 people. It's an amazing legacy. I just want to point out, when we are doing transformation, there's a magical thing that we can do, right?
Yeah.
And this is me in a snapshot with my beloved poodle. So in terms of EXO-related experiences, let me step back. I am a Japanese, but I've been living in California since '88. A lot of, I guess, more than a lot of people here, I think, were born. I've been in the consulting industry for 3 decades now. But as related to EXO, I had a pleasure of being an XPRIZE Visoneer in 2016. And then that let me get into Singularity University community, and that led me to OpenExO. In terms of OpenExO, I'm very new. I read Salim's book in 2017, but really didn't take action. But when OpenExO came up with a longitude study of the Fortune 100 companies in 2021, I believe, I was sold, and I thought, okay, this I can sell and really do the project with the clients with this data. So that got me to OpenExO. So in terms of background, professional services, in 90s, I was doing a lot of ERP implementation, SAP, Oracle, and those. I don't know if anybody remember PeopleSoft. It's one of the ERP, and my team brought the PeopleSoft into Japan. Japanese is a system, and I was with the KPMG, and at that time they were spinning out consulting arm and taking it public. So as a part of that, I went to Japan, stayed there 2 years to establish Japanese outpost there. And past decade, I'm more involved in XPRIZE, innovation, disruption, and those fields. A little bit more about myself. What happened was that around that time, 2011, I decided to live to 150. That changed my perspective, right? And I love working. So I wanted to work till I die. So for the next 100 years, what I'm going to do if I stick with what I know as a management consultant. So I needed to transform myself. And at the same time, I bumped into Peter Diamandis' book, Abundance. That changed the whole perspective about society and world in the future. So that inspired me to take this route. So blessed and grateful that I was able to work with XPRIZE and Peter Diamandis. And through that, I met Salim and the Singularity and OpenExO. So that's me here.
Awesome. That's really great. I 100% agree with your statements about living. I always say at least 120, and so many of my friends and family think I'm mad. Also the idea of continuing to work, continue to add value to the world, right? I don't really understand what it would mean to retire. So these are definitely things we have in common. Now, obviously, a really important thing about an EXO, but also about someone who's going to live to 150 is really understanding purpose, right? And MTP, massive transformative purpose is a main part of the exponential organization. And so, what is your MTP?
My MTP here, you can see on the screen, is eliminate the waste of the human talent on Earth. And small print is while listening to the cry of the voiceless.
Okay.
Right? Throughout, I've seen a lot of talented people not being able to use their talents one way or another. Maybe it's systematic, it's culture, especially coming from Japan. I don't know. Everybody here knows about Japan, how it's resource constraints and deprived. It's a small island, and we don't have any oil. We don't have much of the resources. We import, for example, food. We import 70% of calories from outside into Japan.
Wow.
That's scary. Because of that, we have a culture of not waste anything. when you talk
Yes.
about recycling and so forth, Japan is probably the number one. And, that's how Japanese automaker gained the ground in 70s, because we had so many fuel efficient cars already at that time. And US and other countries needed that small cars, right?
Yeah.
But when I look at Japan, what's happening now, has been happening now is that we have great education, we have educated workforce and talents, but they're not used to full extent. I talked to friends at the Honda, and he was saying that, okay, young guys, he came to Honda to work as an engineer, but because Honda is too big, what he does is project management. He cannot use his talent to the fullest, right? And I have a friend, a female friend here in the States, that she opted out to work because she had a baby, but she could do the job 1/10 of, I guess, with the 1/10 of time compared to what I could do. But because of the structures and the maybe value perception that people have, and those talents are not fully used at all. But it's countless, right?
Yeah.
And they believe that we have so many big grand challenges that if we can use all the talents on the earth, we can solve all the problem. So that's why this is my MTP.
Awesome. This also resonates so much with me. I often say to people, we have one problem in the world, and it's people's potential being reached, people's talents being used. Because if everybody was using their talents, we'd solve all the problems. So, man, this is awesome. Now, Jun, you said you're fairly new to the OpenExO community, but you really did just sort of jump in. I know you currently working with an organization looking at an EXO sprint, but since you learned of the got more deep into the EXO model, how does it affect your sort of day-to-day activities?
Okay. Before I get into that, can I just share what I did with the XPRIZE relating to my MTP?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So I'm going to go back on the slide and quickly bear with me. So this is a project I worked on, Avatar XPRIZE. Okay, instead of having virtual avatar, why don't we create a physical robotic avatar, humanoid robot avatar? People can jack in or operate remotely so that we can connect all 8 billion people on Earth, right? I don't gonna go through. So what it does is bridge the gap between time, distance, culture, and create limitless human potential. So this is teleportation of consciousness, and you can engage with external environment, actual change, and so forth. So what it does is it could teleport skill sets. So this is a big jump and big disruption, innovation toward my MTP, because before, even now, right, the time and distance is a big barrier for matching the talents, right? We are fortunate because we are digital nomad and professional, but some other professions you have to be physically there. But using Avatar, you can do that. And Avatar could help kids and other people who are marginalized or maybe in needs, right? Imagine if you have robotic avatar in sub-Saharan Africa, in a small village, right? There's no doctor, and a boy is sick, and you can have a doctor from New York to jump in to Avatar instantaneously instead of taking 3 days to get there, right? And same robotic avatar could be used by auto mechanic from LA, and that could become mechanic to fix the only truck that's lifeline in that small village. So I just want to talk about that because it kind of encapsulate what I'm trying to do.
Okay, yeah.
And getting back to, you can probably take out that slide, I guess, in terms of talking about, how I'm embedding EXO in daily life. Yes. Suddenly, I got into foundation, I think a year ago, and completed that. And then soon after that, I took consultant certification. And it's my nature to use it, or thinking about using immediately. So I immediately got the work with the client and starting selling sort of awake-like program, but I cut it into 5 weeks so that the busy executive could do assignment, not crammed into one room for a day. So I've been selling that, incorporating that, and that's a great lead way for bigger project like Sprint. So now I'm working with Eunice and Lars on a Sprint project. And I'm sort of developing program depending on the organization, not only just selling, those sprints and so forth. In between, I have other offering I can do, like workshop to improve or increase creativity and so forth. But it is just amazing how community is structured, and we can access so much talent here. Throughout Sprint, we are bringing many advisors from many different places, right?
Yes.
I think we covered all the continents. Just short, 5 weeks now. So
yes,
it shows. And also in terms of daily life, I started to talk about MTP more and more. Not about my MTP, but people who wants to have more energy to get up every morning. So from time to time, I'm invited to speak at MBA school, B schools, and often I sort of talk about MTP and have them go through MTPs. And even in casual conversation, when I sort of speak about what I do and so forth, I introduce my MTP, and some people get interested. So I'll let them create their own MTP and talk. And it's really, really engaging in terms of getting to know the people, right? Rather than talking about traffic and weather.
No, absolutely, absolutely. It also allows you to find people that you resonate with, even though your MTPs might be different. But it just is that deeper sort of connection, which I think is really wonderful. Now, the one thing we did speak about beforehand is about how simple solutions really can drive success, right? And I'd like you just to speak a little bit more about that and why that's so important.
Throughout my career as a management consultant, I didn't do much of the strategic consulting because that oftentimes end up not being implemented or not being implemented properly. So 30 years of my consulting life, I'm more on execution, right? When it comes down to execution, if it's not simple enough, you cannot really get it done with people, right? And also, coming from Japan, simplicity equals beauty, right? So I think the solution needs to be beautiful, right? That simpleness counts quite a bit. So when you talk about EXO, very simple, right? Framework, MTP in center, and you have skill and ideas. And that simplicity helps. Simplicity at the same time would give you more flexibility as well, right? So when I talk about execution and success, success comes from execution rather than idea. So that's my motto, and that's how I go about it. So if you can make it complex, but it's great. It becomes a little bit masturbation by yourself that, okay, you have a lot of knowledge, you know all about it, but if you want to get things done, make it simple, distill.
100%. It's so true. Now, beforehand, we were speaking a little bit about your work with a Buddhist temple. Do you want to share a little bit more about?
Thank you.
I know you. I think you have a few slides too, but yeah, it'd be great to see a little bit more about that.
Right.
You can share
Thank
again.
You. So again, while I'm talking to people, I talk about EXO, not necessarily EXO, but MTP and so forth. I met this temple, Kogenshi Temple in Hiroshima, and I met this guy by the name of Taikyo Murakami, and he's head priest of Kogenshi Temple. And in the temple, out at the remote side of a remote part of Hiroshima, and I have this sort of bias toward monk and Buddhist priests. They're traditional, and they're not really forward-looking. But when I started talking to him, that he shared his challenges and what he's been doing. And I found out that even though he's working hyper-locally in local community, over 20 years of his career, he helped 15,000 people. And he is struggling to see how far he can reach, because we see that people are in pain more so than ever. Right? Mental illness being a challenge, biggest challenge. WHO estimate about 1 billion, I think, as of 2019, and other Lancet study shows about 2 billion people suffering mental illness. Right, and he was struggling how he can sort of give the reach to what his healing could do. So I started talking about, the minute I was talking about reach, I was thinking about EXO. So I offered pro bono session, the 5-week program, with him. And he was, okay, I'm committed to learn and experiment. So, it became a journey. And what's amazing about it is that I usually put advisory call in the program. As for the paid, I don't have to go out of pocket. But for this pro bono, I don't have any budget, right? So I put the advisory ticket as a pro bono, asking for help with this community. Within a matter of 24 hours, I got 4 responses. I'm like, wow, what a great community. Right? And not only that, those people, Fabrizio and Gabo, said, you know what, advisory call is good, but this is a great cause and great purpose.
Yeah.
Right. So let's spread. And I probably spoke too much about this slide, but his MTP is awaken the individual unconscious realm and foster harmonious connection with the external world beautifully and joyfully. Right? Isn't that amazing? And what's great about him is that not only he's open-minded, but he's very inclusive. He practiced this Shingon esoteric Buddhism, right? Very small people do it, right? It's esoteric, so not many people know. and he's very strict about it. But at the same time, he understands that there are many different types of faith and the healing. So he's not particular. He practiced that, but he doesn't exclude other way of healing too. So I thought it would be great if you can sort of gather the crowd, the community, and pursue this endeavor and make this MTP realize a bit, right? So I'll just pass them. So we are trying to launch this short 6-week ideation sprint with Fabrice and Gabriel, and we are asking for people's support and generosity to get on journey and see what we can do here.
Wow, that's really interesting and so great to hear. Also how when is a project that is meaningful and sparks people's interest, that people join in, right, from and from all over the world, which really is so amazing. So for those that are watching this live or in the recording, do reach out on the platform for sure, so that you can get involved.
I'm trying to find. Okay, there's a landing page. Can I share this with the? Is it comments or chat? Comments, maybe.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. You can stick it in the comments.
Okay.
For sure. And
well, maybe I can just show this, at least the site here. So this is the site. So I'll stick in the.
Yeah, awesome. You can.
So this is the site. Yeah.
Perfect. So as I said at the beginning, Jun, the time disappears on these OpenExO lives.
It does.
And we are going to have to call it now. I always want to end off, though, with one question, which is, if there's only one thing that you can share with people, what would that one thing be?
In what perspective? What are you looking at? This open-end?
Completely open-ended. The one thing which you think is really important for people to take away.
I think it's just the purpose and people, right? It's not one thing, but the community that we have here is amazing. It's communities of people are coming from all over the world with the generosity and purpose, and that's hard to find. And also, a lot of people here have great skills in technologies too. That makes it even rarer. And I don't know, I guess, how many people are deep involved in this community, but if you're not, then join and go deep with it, and you'll find great people. And I believe in more the relationships. Everything is a relationship. So cherish the relationship and co-elevate together. That's not one thing. Sorry.
But that's a good thing. That's definitely a good thing. Jun, it's been wonderful chatting to you. I'm looking forward to connecting even more. we do have so much in common. It's really difficult for me to try and connect with all these amazing people in this community. But also I really enjoy trying to connect people as well. So it's been so great chatting to you. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you, Kevin, for the opportunity.
Have a fantastic rest of your day.
Okay, you too. Take care.
Okay, bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. So great chatting with Jun. Thank you, everybody, for joining us, and we will see you all again very soon.